That's what I'm there to do, score runs.
Yeah, not like us down the bottom of the order that try to block it out and get you guys on strike.
Off spin's easy though, isn't it? It's nothing like fine leg spin.
What's going on your face, mate?
Isn't it awful? Isn't it awful? Netflix and chill.
Obviously a new spin consultant. If you want to get those leggies out, mate, come on, we'll get the nets and work on those little flippers and googlies, and yeah, it'll be good fun. There he is.
Big Ish, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. What's going on your face, mate?
Isn't it awful? Isn't it awful? The wife said I need to get rid of it today, actually.
Oh, no, you're going to get rid of it or you're going to keep going?
I'm going to try and keep putting the pressure on. I want to grow it. I want to grow it down here.
How long's it been going for?
I'd say, I don't know, probably a month, maybe a bit longer.
Holy moly, I've never seen you with facial hair ever in my life, man. That's ridiculous.
It's so red, it's disgusting.
It's not that red, is it?
It's red.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Wow. How's
news?
this, mate? Oh, not too much, man. I'm 2.5 weeks into isolation and I'm just about starting to go mad. How are you getting on?
Yeah, I'm all right. We're actually not too strict here at the moment. I think it'll get worse, but like I've been able to go out and, run around the park and play a bit of tennis, actually.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's about it. But other than that, you're pretty much stuck inside. So it's getting a bit boring, but could be worse, I guess. That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, should we crack into this, mate? I know it's Saturday night. It's probably a unique Saturday night in these circumstances, eh?
I've certainly got nowhere to be.
Yeah, I know. It's 8 p.m. on a Saturday, mate, and I'm pretty much rugged up, ready for bed. So
that's it.
Alrighty. I'll do a little introduction, bro.
Sure.
We're going to structure it exactly the same as what we did last week. We're going to have 3 sort of innings. The first innings is going to be just a yarn, you and I, and then we're going to have a rapid fire section, followed by a second innings, and then we'll have a little quiz for you in the end called the final over. But Steve Smith, great to have you here today, mate. I know you already talked to me a little bit about what you've been doing in isolation, but how's it been?
Cheers, Ish. Nice to join you, mate. It's been okay. Getting a little bit bored at times, but being able to get out and do a bit of running and things like that. So I got a bit of a home gym downstairs, which is getting a fair workout at the moment, and obviously Netflix and chill. Pretty standard stuff. I think it's pretty. I guess what's happening around the world at the moment with a lot of people. So in the same boat.
Yeah, you obviously haven't found the razor, mate. You've got a little bit of fluff on your chin at the moment. How's that getting on?
Isn't it shocking? Well, Danny says my wife wants me to get rid of it today, so this might be the last you see of it, but I'll keep trying to press on and see if I can keep growing it. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, I've got my fingers crossed for you, mate. I'd love to see it get a little bit longer, eh? But awesome. So, well, obviously the last cricket we played was in Sydney 2.5 weeks ago. I think we were playing against each other.
Yeah.
We've had a fair bit of time off now, and we would have been at the IPL at this stage if the circumstances were obviously different. But it says here you've captained the Royals before. You did that in 2015, and obviously got the opportunity to do it again this year. If we do get a chance to play, are you looking forward to that prospect as well?
Yeah, it's I guess the 2 seasons that I've captained the Royals were both half seasons. Watto gave me the captaincy in 2015, and then last year, out of the blue, randomly, I took over towards the back end of the year. So I've never actually had a crack at doing it full time, which I'm excited about. I think the Royals have a really good squad, but obviously there's plenty going on in the world at the moment, and we need it we'd like it to get back to normal at some point in the near future, but we can't control that at this stage. We've just got to keep waiting it out, and hopefully we can get an IPL in at some stage.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I mean, I kind of heard a rumor that there was a chance that it could happen a little bit later in the year, but I don't know what that'll look like from an international cricket perspective, because we got that T20 World Cup at the end of the year as well, and so hopefully we do get a chance to play a bit of IPL cricket,
Yep.
But yeah, obviously health and safety comes first.
That's it. See how we go.
Yeah. So you said you were playing a little bit of tennis, at the moment? Do you have a tennis court local, or do you have a tennis court at your place? And how's your backhand getting on?
Well, I've played a couple of games with Sydney Sixers player and New South Wales contractor guy, Ben Dwarshuis. He's a lefty.
Nice.
He's powerful, and it's not a bad game in sort of isolation. You know, you're out in a court playing singles, and the government's actually allowed that as part of sort of exercise. So you're pretty isolated out on the court. So yeah, I've had a few games. Backhand is getting there slowly. My forehand's been pretty good, and it's and my serve's going all right as well. So I used to love tennis as a kid. Played a lot up until I was about 15 in the off season, and absolutely love it. So it's been nice to just have a few hits recently, and I was shocking at the start. I had no rhythm whatsoever, but a couple of different games and got some rhythm and starting to feel good again. So there could be a bit of tennis in me in the next little bit as well with obviously the break from cricket at the moment. So enjoying that, and yeah, the courts are local. I don't have one in my backyard ish.
Just throwing it out there, mate. You know?
Yeah, local. So it's been good fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's wicked, man. It's good to, like, obviously a lot of people are just finding ways to stay fit and probably finding ways to stay sane. I'm sure it's probably the same where you are. Like,
Yeah.
I found every time I go out, like just for a run or a walk, there's so many people just out and about. And
Yeah.
and it feels like they're like searching for a little bit of, I don't know, some kind of social, nature of some sort, because there's so many people so friendly out in the street at the moment, just want to have a yarn and talk to you about what's going on.
Yeah.
Find the same?
Yeah, it's very different. Obviously, people are trying to stay away from each other, but also, we're all sort of trying to be together at the same time and go through this pandemic together. So, it's different. It's certainly nothing like I've ever experienced before, and I'm sure what many people around the world have never experienced before, and probably hopefully don't experience again. Yeah, we'll just keep waiting it out and see how we go. But it is certainly very different out there at the moment.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts. But if we do get the chance to play cricket again, let's take it back a little bit to cricket for a bit. So from a cricketing perspective, obviously, like me being a leg spinner, I'm always going to bring leg spin into it. And you obviously started out as a leg spin bowler. Were you always a leg spinner, like during the grades, or were you more of a batter and turned into a leg spinner? Obviously, bowling's taken a huge backseat now. But talk us through your little early days as a leg spinner.
I was probably always more of a batsman than I was a bowler, but got picked in certain teams as more of a bowler than a batter, which was, different to me. And obviously played my first 2 Test matches as a specialist spinner, which was strange in a way, that we were sort of looking for a spinner after the Shane Warne era, and tried plenty of spin options in that time. And obviously now we've got Nathan Lyon there that does a terrific job. But I was one of the, I reckon, 12 or 13 spinners that got to go. And yeah, played a couple as a spinner, which was different. And yeah, I got dropped after that. And it was, for me, it was finding a way to get myself back into the Australian team. And I thought that was through my batting. And at that point in time, I just sort of let my bowling slip away a bit and not practice it as much as I used to, and focus solely on batting. But I still bowl every now and again in a game. Rolled out some offies against you blokes a couple of weeks ago.
I know.
5 of the balls were brilliant. One was a full bunger that had to get collected out of the stands because we had no crowd.
Yeah. And it was such a dry wicket, and you came and let the first one go to the left-hander perfectly on a length, and I was like, oh no, we're going to get bowled out by these offies here. This is not going to be easy. I mean, yeah.
I've been practicing those a little bit actually, so yeah, I don't know. Off spin's easy though, isn't it? It's nothing like fine leg spin.
Yeah, thanks, mate. In the presence of a leg spinner, you have to say that. But if we get on a dust bowl in Chennai, boy, get them out, mate.
See how we go.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. So, like, obviously, the first couple of Test matches playing as a leg spinner. Off recollection, I don't have anything written here or anything, but you were batting 8, 6, 7, 8.
I reckon I was batting 9.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how much you've batted at the top order now that you started out as a number 9 batter.
Yeah.
But obviously you said you got dropped at that stage and you went away and probably worked harder in your batting, or did you put more volume in? Like, what was that kind of lead up like to get back in the Australian squad?
Yeah, definitely more volume. So at times before that, I was probably mix and matching between batting and bowling and working on both in a session. And then sort of got to the point where I just worked, say a session went for 3 hours or whatever in the nets. I'd be doing probably 2.5 hours of batting and half an hour of bowling as opposed to half and half. So just getting more volume and obviously just finding a method that worked for me as well. That can take time, and I was still at that stage playing in the middle order for New South Wales and trying to find my way there and find ways to score runs in the longer form of the game and a method that worked for me. And that can take a bit of time, and to have the confidence to keep doing it. That can take a bit of time as well. And got to that point where I was comfortable, and then got myself back in the team through scoring big runs for New South Wales, and sort of never looked back from there. But yeah, I think for me it was just finding how I wanted to bat and being comfortable with that. And obviously now the way I move across the crease, I'm a little bit different to some people, but I found a method that kind of works for me.
Yeah, well, obviously being a young cricketer myself and like watching guys, obviously like you, guys like Kane Williamson, who I play with, Virat and guys that have, found a method that works for such a long period of time at international level. It's great to hear the insight, of what it takes to be able to get there. And so, for example, right, you know how you walk across the crease. This is just going a little bit off the beaten track a little bit, but
Yeah.
when you're nice and open, are you doing that to try to avoid getting out LBW? Or
Um,
what's the...
well, it depends who's bowling, how the wicket's playing, how I want to score, and stuff like that, or how I feel people are trying to get me out. Probably determines how open I am, um, and and how otherwise how closed I am, I suppose. So yeah, it sort of varies. The fields that are set, where you're looking to score, everything sort of comes into play. But I think just my general sort of prelim with my back foot going almost pretty much to off stump, maybe even outside at stages. I know that sort of anything outside of my eye line isn't hitting the stumps, and for me, that's just you know, you shouldn't get out if the ball's not hitting the stumps. So that was just a tick for me when I first started doing it, and just limiting the ways that I get out. And sometimes I get trapped in front and can sort of say, well done. I'm okay with that at stages, and knowing that if it's outside my line, I don't need to I guess try and play at the ball. I can just leave it.
So you're just constantly trying to find ways to get runs, eh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm. Oh man, it's pretty. I guess that's probably the way you want to do it, eh? Like runs is what wins games in cricket. So
That's what I'm there to do. Score
yeah,
runs.
not like us down the bottom of the order that try to block it out and get you guys on strike, eh?
Oh, you looked pretty good at the crease a couple of weeks ago. I thought, little cameo there at the end. It was nice.
Yeah, I was hanging right back because it's the first time I got to face Paddy Cummins, and geez, he's a bit of an animal running in, isn't he?
Yeah, it gets him through.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's wicked, man. So let's get on to this rapid fire segment. Not too many. It's not really you have to get this question right or anything like that. It's just a few questions that we've got lined up. We'll put the timer on 2 minutes, and we'll see however many you can get through in that 2 minutes time, eh?
All right.
So the clock is ticking now. One player in world cricket in the Royal squad, who would it be?
Josh Butler.
Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal?
Fed.
Ooh. What's the fastest spell that you've ever faced with bowling?
Ooh, Mitchell Johnson in the nets.
Oh, yeah, that would be nasty.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah. So obviously scored a few hundreds, but tomorrow, if it was 100 with the bat or a 5 with the ball, what would you choose?
100.
Just a batsman at heart, isn't it? Who was your celebrity crush growing up?
Who was my celebrity crush growing up? I don't know. Angelina Jolie.
Oh, yeah, those lips. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Although Liz Hurley too. Warning, get on you, mate.
King.
Best fielder in the IPL?
Jadeja.
Yeah, he's pretty good. What would you do if you weren't a cricketer?
Tennis.
You got a bit of time to practice now.
That's it.
Who is the most skillful player that you've played with?
Most skillful player I've played with. Dear. Josh Butler's pretty good, I reckon.
Pretty much like ABA.
He's pretty good. I've never played with him, though.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Okay. If you have one really good piece of advice that you could pass on that you've been given, what would it be?
Back yourself.
And what is your worst habit?
Probably picking my nails.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's our 2 minutes done.
All right.
I don't know if you've been prepared for it or not, but do you have a story from your career that's insightful, charming, or something to put a smile on the listeners' faces?
Oh, dear. I don't really know. No, I don't. Not at this stage. I'll think of one. We might be able to come back to it after.
Yeah. No, it sounds good, mate. Alrighty. Well, we'll move on to the second innings. And we just wanted to recognise the new relationship that Deakin University has with the Royals. Obviously, they're putting up a real good deal on a sports marketing course. So if anyone here is obviously in lockdown like we are and you're trying to find something to do, something to move you forward, hop onto the Royals website and see if you'd like to do the sports marketing course, and all the information will be there. So back to cricket, back to captaincy. Obviously, you've been at the Royals for a long period of time now, and also, played for a number of teams around the world. What's slightly different about the way that the Royals go about their business, and is it very different to teams that you've been involved in before?
I think for some time, we've been all about sort of matchups. I think we probably went down that path earlier, I reckon, than any other team in the IPL, thinking about, who should be batting against a certain bowler, or vice versa, things like that. So, look, it's a terrific setup to be involved with. I've been with a lot of IPL teams, but I certainly enjoy the Royals the most out of all these. I think it's a real family vibe. We get good people involved, and good quality coaches as well. So I think it's it's a terrific bunch, and I love being involved with the boys in pink, that's for sure.
How many seasons with the Royals now, if this was to go ahead?
Oh, what have I been? I think 14, 15. I think we were out 16, 17. Didn't play 18. Was there 19. This is 20. What's that? 4 or 5?
4 or 5 seasons. Well, it's a pretty long time, mate. And I suppose you must get pretty used to being around Rajasthan. It's pretty open city compared to most in India.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year was actually the first time that I had played in Jaipur with the Royals. The first year, I think we were in it was Dubai and Abu Dhabi for the start. It was that season, and then I think we were based out of Ahmedabad for the rest of it. I can't remember what happened the second year, but I know that last year was certainly the first year that I've been with the Royals that we were actually playing in Jaipur, which was great. Terrific city, lovely people, and plenty to do. So hopefully, well, if fingers crossed, we can end up there sometime this year.
Yeah, I know. It'll be interesting to see if the flights open up. Hey, I can't really see too many airlines opening up for the next wee while anyway. But fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So obviously you've played alongside a lot of really good overseas players over the years that you've played in the IPL, and obviously for Rajasthan as well. And you touched a little bit on Josh Butler being one of the most skillful players that you've played with. And I suppose it could be quite a unique thing, being a part of the Ashes, which, even for me as a cricket lover, is one of the most hard fought and theatrical cricketing events, in the world. And then you all of a sudden for 2 or 3 months in the same team with the guys like Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, Josh Butler. Like, what's that like?
I think it's cool. I think it's great for the game. obviously when you're playing against someone, you compete as hard as you can, and you want to do the best you can for whichever team you're playing for. But then being able to, rub shoulders with guys like the guys you've just mentioned, Stokesy, Butler, Jofra, it's great to see how they go about their business. Obviously away from international duties and in a franchise tournament, but the way they prepare, the way they spend their downtime, all that. It's great to see other sort of professionals and how they go about it, and try and learn off them as much as you can as well. And I'm sure they're the same with dealing with other internationals and local Indian players in the IPL as well. You want to try and learn as much as you can, but it's become sort of part and parcel of the game now that you play with and against so many different players from around the world. You get to know people pretty well, so I think it's great for the game.
Yeah, I find that really unique as well. Like, just for example, me and you were playing against each other 2.5 weeks ago, and now we're obviously, part of the same team to a certain degree, and we can kind of bank on those experiences that we've had playing against each other as well. And then obviously all the young fellas that come into the Royals, every time, we catch up with the Royals, there's a few guys there that are 18, 19, 20, 21. And then you've got guys with so much experience, like obviously the English players and yourself, and they can rub shoulders with them. And I think the balance of the team kind of becomes quite an enjoyable environment to be a part of, because the young fellas and the older fellas mix all as one.
Yeah, it's so cool. I think a great example last year was Rian Parag, a young 18-year-old kid carrying around his teddy bears and all this business. And whilst he copped a bit, he still, when he went out and played, he played with just such freedom, and won a few games off his own bat at the age of, I think he was 17 at that stage.
Oh,
which is
yeah, mate, it's a joke.
Pretty special. And, I could just see the joy on his face. I threw him, I think, what happened? So he bowled against MS Dhoni and could have almost had him out, I reckon. The ball went about a couple of metres to the side of someone at deep mid-wicket and was very close to getting MS out. And just like the smile on his face when he was bowling him, it was so cool to see. So, we've been pretty lucky at the Royals to have some really great young players. Sanju Samson's obviously come through the system, who's a terrific young player. I'm really liking the look of Jaiswal that we've just got. I think he was the leading run scorer in the 19s World Cup. So looks a quality player. And yeah, like we've said, fingers crossed we can get over there this year and see all that young talent close up again.
Yeah, I'd love to see kind of like, especially guys like Rian, who had a fair bit of success last year, and it'd be great to see how much he's grown off the back of that, because as you'd know, having done something over a certain period of time helps you do it again in the future. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. I think it'd be good to, they call it, is it the second year blues or something? Second year syndrome, either way. So if you get through that second year, I think you do well, I think you're kind of on a really good path. That's how I sort of like to look at things. So yeah, I'm interested to see how Rian's grown over the last year, and just seeing some of the shots he can play and the skills that he developed in such a quick time with the ball. The tricks he's got is incredibly special, and can't wait to see it up close again.
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to it. And obviously this year we've got Andrew Mcdonald coming on board. And I know he was at the Renegades for a long period of time. I'm not sure how much he's had to do with the Australian national side, but I'm sure he would have been in and around the environment. But are you looking forward to his coaching style?
Yeah, he's been involved with the Australian setup for about 6 months now, and we've had a few chats along the way about IPL and how we're going to go about it. And he's a terrific guy. He speaks incredibly well. He's got a great knowledge of the game, and I'm looking forward to sort of sharing a partnership with him and forming a bond that's hopefully successful for the Royals. And he's been there and sort of done it. He's played in the IPL. He's been involved as a coach as well, I think, or an assistant coach. Knows how the system sort of works. So yeah, he's a good get for the Royals, that's for sure.
Yeah, awesome, and hopefully they can all complement each other. We've had obviously a few of the coaches from last year coming in, and hopefully they can complement each other really well over that period. Obviously, a new spin consultant who, if you want to get those leggies out, mate, come on, we'll get in the nets and work on those little flippers and googlies, and yeah, it'll be good fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but obviously you've had a fair bit of international cricket now already. You probably played a decade of international cricket now.
Yeah, I think I started in 2010, so yeah, it's gone pretty quick. But yeah, 10 years, a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've obviously had some amazing highs during those 10 years. Obviously a lot of Ashes series. You won a World Cup 2015. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So obviously there's 10 years of your life gone now, but you're still quite young. What are you hitting? 30, 31?
31 in June.
Oh, getting on, big fella. But so obviously you still got a fair bit of cricket to play in you. But do you have any other ambitions, some goals that you set yourself? What's important to you, and how you go about going to achieve them now? You've already achieved so much.
I'd love to win a Test series in India. I think that's the we talk about, as an Australian cricketer, like Ashes is always big and World Cups are big, but I think now, like, India's the number one team in the world. It's a very difficult place to play Test cricket, so I'd love to be able to win a series there. But yeah, other than that, I don't really like to set too many sort of goals. I just like to take things sort of series by series, day by day, and just keep trying to get better and improve. And that's about it. But I'm enjoying playing at the moment. I'm loving it, and it's been it's a pretty long year actually, with a World Cup and Ashes and a few away one-day tours throughout the summer as well, which is a bit different. We're normally just home for the summer, so it's been different. But this sort of little rest probably isn't the worst thing. Hopefully it's not for too much longer, but couple of weeks has been good. But I'd be pretty keen to get back into it at some point in the near future, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, it's funny you say it's been a long year, because even for me, from a playing perspective, it's been quite a long year as well. And by the end of the season, I was probably like wondering when my next break was actually going to come. And now that it's come, I'm kind of like, when is it going to end?
When are we playing again?
I know. So yeah, it's been carnage, eh? But hopefully we do get cracking pretty soon. But on a little bit off the playing field, while I've got you here, obviously being a spin bowler and trying to improve my craft a little bit, you knew this was coming, and being obviously a bit of a cricket nuffy, you faced a lot of spin in the past 10 years of your career, and even more. So what some of the best spinners that you faced, what are the one or two things that they do better than the others?
I think consistency is one in length. I think your good length is good length, and if you can hit that length consistently, I think particularly on wickets that are offering anything, I think that's key. So someone like, I think, Jadeja in the subcontinent, why he's so good is he just hits that good length, and one ball skids on, one spins, and sort of it just looks the same out of the hand. There's no real difference. So I think, consistency and length is key, and then just being able to, like, at least one variation. So I think for a leg spin bowler, having a good googly or a good slider is crucial. But then for a finger spinner, I think being able to change your pace without changing your arm speed too much, I think that's pretty important. I reckon, there's a few around the world that do that pretty well. I think Jadeja is one, particularly for the wicket spinning. He's very difficult to play. I think Nathan Lyon he's a bit different to Jadeja in gets over the top of the ball a lot more and relies probably on more bounce than he still spins it, but he gets a lot of bounce, probably more bounce than most spinners, if not all spinners around the world. So I think just subtle variations and changes in pace and being able to control whatever length you want to bowl for long periods of time, I think is key.
Brilliant, mate. I've got my notepad out. I'm taking my notes. So hopefully I can implement some of those next time we cross each other on the playing field.
Sweet.
Yeah, awesome. So great talking to you so far. We'll go on to the final over, which Shreyas was very, very poor at. So, I'm hoping you're a little bit more of a cricket nuffy and know a little bit more about these questions. But the only clue I'm going to give you is all of the answers are current Rajasthan Royals squad members, apart from one, which I'll talk to you at the end of it. But I'm going to fire 6 questions at you, and we'll judge you out of 6. So,
righto.
Question 1. Which current Rajasthan Royals player has the highest strike rate?
Batting.
Yep.
Joss.
Well, you've got one. You've already got as many as Shreyas did. Well done. Which Rajasthan Royals bowler has recorded the quickest delivery in the IPL? Jofra Archer. These are a lot easier.
I thought O'Shane might have been tight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, O'Shane or maybe Varun Aaron.
Yeah.
Sneak in there a little
bit. Couple of boys to bowl some good gas. It's good.
Yeah.
2 from 2,
right. 2 from 2, mate.
Easy game.
oh, this is just going to get easier and easier for you, I think. Which Rajasthan Royals player has 4 lions tattooed on his back?
Stokesy.
Yep, that's the one. 3 from 3, man. This is going to be a landslide. Which Rajasthan Royals player was a long jump champion in secondary school? A long jump champion.
I don't know this one. Who would be good at long jump? Who's fast? What about O'Shane? Is it him?
Oh, nah, it's not O'Shane, mate. It's Jofra Archer. That's sleek and white. Yeah, Jofra Archer, mate. Those long strides, eh?
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, now, which Rajasthan Royals player took the most wickets in this year's Ranji Trophy?
Untitled.
It was. Yep. Nearly broke a record that lasted for 50 years. So it was
pretty
awesome.
Jeez, there you go. Atta boy.
Which current player has the most wickets against Rajasthan Royals? So obviously a different team now. He is a spinner. I'll give you that clue.
Okay. I'll go with Imran Tahir.
Oh, no. But I would have thought it was Imran as well, but it's Amit Mishra.
There you go.
The old wily campaigner.
Yeah.
There he is.
Good bowler.
Awesome. Yeah. No, well, thanks so much for your time today, brother.
My pleasure.
It's been good catching up with you and obviously seeing how that beard's going. Hopefully, if we do get the chance to play IPL and Danny hasn't shaved it off for you, it's reasonably long. And maybe by Christmas, you'd be Santa Claus, mate.
A bit too much red, I think, mate. We'll see how we go.
Bit of dye can always fix that. But yeah, no, cheers for joining us today, mate. And everyone, obviously, that's watching, remember to subscribe and follow Rajasthan on social media for more content like this. And thanks again, Steve, for your time.
Cheers, Ish. See you soon, mate.
Legend. Good on you, mate.